at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur too, being a business owner, you're still not really your own boss. Your
Yeah.
clients are your boss. You are still always answering to someone. So all these people who think that you're gonna go out there and you're gonna start your business, and because you want to be your own boss and because you want to have your own hours, it's not true. It's a lie. It's a social media lie. That's my personal opinion, but let me tell it.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of The First Gems. It's your girl Nina here on the mic. I don't really got a mic, but Kalaria got one. She's here in the building. And we also have Anna over here too. And we have a special guest with us today, Sheva. She is a beauty brand founder of LA Beauty Club. If you live in LA, reside in LA, been to LA, been to Mid City, and you've seen that poppin' pink building, that is LA Beauty Club, your one-stop shop for all things hair. You could go in there and get your edge control, you can get braiding hair, you can get your hair done, hair slayed, hair straightened, weaved up, everything. So we're so excited to have her here. We're going to be talking about some exciting stuff and getting to know her better. And also, as always, in all our episodes, dropping gems on how you can level up too. I'm sure she got plenty of gems to share with us today. So welcome, Sheva, to the First Gems. How you feeling?
Excited to be here. I'm really excited to be here. It's a long time
Yes,
coming.
yeah, it really has been a long time. It's good to have you too. Yeah, before we get into the happenings and how you started and more about you, we always start off our episodes with a little icebreaker. I try to make it related to hair so that it can be, on topic and on trend with what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, icebreaker. I'm ready.
Yeah, I named it Slay or Nay. So that's
Ooh.
what, yeah. So I'll be naming some things and each of us are gonna go and say slay or nay. You don't need to explain. You can explain at the end, but each of us will listen to that term and just dub it a slay or a nay. All right. So Shiva, slay or nay, wash and go. So Shiva, slay or nay, and this like for yourself, if you like it or if you don't, wash and go.
Slay. Yeah, slay.
All right. Laria, Denman brush.
Honestly, don't even know what that is.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Can I
do.
do it?
Like
Maybe
a
I need to see a picture of it.
okay, fine. Headband wig.
Slay. I've been seeing some good ones. Slay.
Okay. Anna, microlinks.
That's a nay, because who gonna take it out for me? My edges will be gone. I feel like they're cute, but no, not for me. Nay.
Yeah. Shiva, baby hairs.
Slay.
Period. Kalaria, knotless braids.
Slay all day.
Anna, even edge control.
A slay. I just picked some up.
That
Slick.
period. Shiva, crochet hairstyle.
Nay. Let's
Nay.
throw it away. Let's be done.
We.
Ah, I love a crochet.
Me too. I feel like it gets a bad rap. It gets a bad rap.
For me. The question was for me, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
That's true. I'm like ready to go to war for some crochet styles. Like, excuse me. Kalaria, monthly trims.
Slay. Those are needed. I've actually started to get more into getting my trims more frequently. So that's a slay for sure.
Love that. Okay. Anna, blue magic.
Oh, that's a slay. That's the OG slay.
Okay. I think that was good. I think we had a good little rapid fire round with that. That was fun. I don't know if y'all have any you want to ask me, I'll be down.
I was just gonna show Kalaria this is a Denman brush. Like you definitely have one of these.
Okay. Slay.
Slay or nay? 40-inch bust down.
Ooh, I think me right now, that's a nay. I'm sorry. I'm very
nay?
short. Yeah, I'm very short. So for me, like even a 24 is like a 30 for me. So 40, like I'm gonna be mopping the entire floor. That's a nay.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
A braided bob, slay or nay?
For me, no, but that was your thing, girl.
Hey.
Honestly, I've been seeing some cute braided bobs, like boho braided bobs. Like people been doing some cute ones.
I really am anti-braided bob. However, the girls at the shop, they have done some really cute braided boho bob ones. It can be cute. It depends on the person.
Yeah, I want to try it. I've been in like my bob era, like obviously not right now, but I've been liking like a short cut on me.
You have a good neck for it.
Oh, thanks.
You're long, so it will look nice.
Thanks.
You're
I'll
welcome.
try it out.
All right, that was good. All right, I love that. That was fun. I hope that helped loosen up the vibes and everything. But it's always a good vibe when we link up with you, Sheva. So yeah, is there anything that you want to let the viewers know about you, like who you are, how, like your cultural background, how you started LA Beauty Club? I know that was like a lot of questions in one, but
That
we
was
got
a lot. That was like 4 different questions. I don't know
got
where.
it. You got it.
About me, I'm from PG County, Maryland. Atlanta, Maryland to be exact. So yes, I'm in the DMV. I have bounced around a little bit though. I haven't lived at home in a long time. I went to New York. I was in New York for a while, and then I've been in LA for like going on 6 years. It'll be 6 years in like a couple months. My mom is Black American, and my dad is Persian or Iranian. Depends on who you ask, but people say it both ways. And yeah, like I just had a really the long and the short of it is I had a really terrible experience when I was living in New York. I would had anybody who's lived in New York who could tell you like New York will really run you down. You have two types of people. You have the people who like stay and stick it out, and then you have the people who like low key hate it but also kind of love it. And then you have the people who like are for lifers. They're like, I love New York. It's the best city in the world. I'm never leaving. I was definitely not her. I do have love for New York in my heart, but it can really wear on you over time. It's just such a fast, competitive, dirty place, although it has a lot of beautiful culture to it. And one day I was leaving work, and I used to work in Herald Square, which is like, if you know where Herald Square is, super busy. It's like a mini Times Square to a degree. It's different, but it's fast paced like that. So I was just like really worn down. At the time, I really hated my job so bad. And I lived in Brooklyn, in like Bushwick, Bed-Stuy. So I took the train home, and on my way home, I was like, just so worn down. I was like, I really need to stop and go to the beauty supply store. I stopped at the beauty supply store, dragged myself in there, and the long and the short of it is me and 2 other people got profiled. It turned into this whole verbal altercation. And aside from the fact that I was extremely angry, we all also it was just humiliating was really like the word for it. We were angry and humiliated. And there was a couple of other people who were in the beauty supply at the same time who were like at checkout when all this was going on. And they kind of like were sticking up for us and like saying like, no, that's not right. But then they also still checked out and like bought their stuff. Mm-hmm. And I remember like the whole situation escalated so bad that I felt like I was going to start crying because I was so angry. So I just walked out and left. And as I was walking back to the train, like I was just replaying the whole, when you're like fuming on the inside. Mm-hmm. I was fuming on the inside. I was replaying the situation in my head. I called my sister. I was complaining to her about everything that happened. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like all the money to be spent in beauty supply, and this is how y'all do. And it was a traditional old school Korean beauty supply store. Like it wasn't anything, just run of the mill like how we all have been through our whole lives. Something about it, it was almost like it wasn't my first time having those type of experience before, but something about that day, it just felt like the last straw. Like, when you just feel like you just at your breaking point. I think it was a combination of living in New York and having severe anxiety and all the things, and then, the New York lifestyle. And then it was just like, I just had enough that day. And the more that I played the situation over my head and was like basically going off to my sister, the more my wheels got turning about, I have actually never thought about it before up to that day. But I had never been into a Black-owned beauty supply before, ever. I had never been into a Black-owned beauty supply store. I had never been into a beauty supply store and actually felt genuinely comfortable. I had never been in a beauty supply store. I mean, I'm talking about my whole life. Like, even when I was back in Maryland, which is, DMV is predominantly Black. PG County is Black as hell. I had never had that experience, and it had never occurred to me until that day, having that experience, leaving. And even just seeing the girls that check out who were also visibly upset about what happened, but still checked out, which I get. It was just like, we spend way too much money to be getting treated like this. And it's not the first time. It doesn't have to be this way. And it was the realization that it doesn't have to be this way that led me to the thoughts of, what if I had my own beauty supply store? What if I had a beauty supply and a salon? What if you didn't have to go? That was the what if. And this was like probably like 2016, 2017 at this point. I mean, it was a lot of years in development, obviously, just getting business plan together, getting some money together, getting all the things together. I just had a lot to learn, but we didn't even form our company till 2021. So just to show the years of just the idea kind of like recalibrating, because at first I didn't really think about having like a curated beauty supply store like what we have now. I just thought, oh, just like a beauty supply store that's Black owned. I didn't really go that much further. So it took years to kind of figure out exactly how I wanted it to be. That was the birth of LA Beauty Club was truly from basically just having a horrible experience that I researched and found out that so many other people have, and deciding that I wanted to change it and flip the dynamic, basically. That's the long and the short of it.
Wow. Wow, I had never heard your origin story actually. Like and just some background. We've been knowing Sheva. Wait, what year did we all meet? I feel like 2020. Yeah, yeah. And we've met and we've talked about like just hair industry, beauty supply store industry so many times, but I've never heard that story. And that's really powerful that you share that too, like how that experience can ignite that in you to build something amazing as you have. Because you're right, we spend way too much money in beauty supply stores to be treated like that. Yeah, and that's not even a uncommon experience. Like mostly every Black woman can say that they've had a negative experience in a beauty supply store. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, because
Yeah, I don't really talk about it too much in general because I like to focus on, the positive side of things and not get too deep into that. But yeah, that's actually the real way it started. I had worked in salons throughout like some high school and college. So I had a lot of knowledge about like just hair in general. I actually wanted to go to cosmetology school at one point, but I ended up going to school for marketing instead. So it just all made sense. Like I did some influencer work. I had worked at MAC as a makeup artist. I never thought in a million years, like this was never my dream. It was never, I didn't know that this was the way that things would all come together, but I'm really grateful that it did.
yeah. When did it start feeling real for you though? Because you said it took 11 years to kind of turn an idea into reality. At what point were you like, okay, I'm actually ready to do this and I have everything together? I mean, I'm sure in 2021, from when you first thought about it, it probably seemed like such a really big thing to execute. At what point did it start feeling like, oh, this is something I can realistically do?
Honestly, I'm honestly going to say COVID really, I mean, it was terrible for a lot of people. A lot of people lost their lives, their lives, their businesses, their family members, their jobs. It really was a low point for a lot of people. I even was affected by COVID in terms of my job. At the time, I got laid off during COVID as well. But I would say during COVID because it was the first time that I really had enough time to actually step back and just focus all of my energy on this thing and to really like think clearly and give something my full attention. All the years prior, I was working until 6, getting off, working at night from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., COVID really, I think, allowed all of us to kind of reprioritize, really figure out what we want to do in a lot of ways, pour into our hobbies. I was working on LA Beauty Club during COVID. I was making things shake during COVID, okay? I was building out the brand as much as I could to prepare. We launched our e-commerce during COVID, which also was really helpful because at the time, people couldn't even shop in person. Mm-hmm. So everyone was looking for somewhere to get their beauty supplies, e-commerce. We were dropping off orders in person to people who were like local here in LA. So I would say during COVID, honestly, is when it really started to come together. But
I love that.
When it became real is a different question because it didn't become real to me until like last year. So that's a whole different question.
COVID was so pivotal for a lot of people. Like we even started this podcast during COVID. So being able to just like, to your point, reflect and like think about the things that you actually like really want to do and like how you want to see your life differently from how it currently is. I think COVID played, while it was an unfortunate time, it also was a life-changing time for a lot of people. So
for sure.
Kudos to you, girl. I would like to ask though, in what ways do you think, like, as much as you hated your job, what skills did you gain from it and what experiences did you take from that in order to build your business? Because in a lot of ways, like, yeah, in a lot of ways, like we can leverage our jobs currently to do the things that we actually want to do. So how are you able to do that?
I hated my job when I was in New York. One of the job I was at the time that all this happened, I hated. But despite how I felt about the management and all those things, every single job that I have ever had, looking back at it, I didn't realize this until, you grow and you learn and you mature and you look at things from the bigger picture and with a 10-foot pole, and you look and you say, okay, I get it now. But honestly and truly, every job that I ever had, I learned something from. He was one of those people that would go to certain family gatherings, like during the holiday, like, are you at the same job? You always switching job. You always got something new going on. And I would be like, yeah, because I would either get bored easy or like I was always looking for career advancement. So I was like, whoever's going to pay me the most is where I'm going. I learned so much from every single job that I have ever worked, whether it was in marketing or in something else. Retail taught me how to deal with people, how to talk to people, the ins and out of how to actually run a retail store. It would have been a lot different of a learning curve for me, I think, if I had not had that experience. Despite the fact that was eons ago, during like college and high school, it still matters. Like I still learned a lot from that. All my marketing jobs, working corporate, client facing, project management, all these things. I mean, for obvious reasons, they made a huge difference. Working on different creative teams, being a creative strategist, working with all these big, huge brands, Fortune 500 companies, you learn so much politics and networking, just how to speak to people, like how to move, how to be professional. So many things that you just bits and pieces that you gather from tactics, sales tactics. So many things that you gather from all of that. Even I've been a waitress before, like understanding the operational, the back end of a business, knowing how to treat every single person at every single layer of a company and how every single person at every layer at the end of the day matters to make this thing, this experience. Like that, I feel like was the biggest takeaway. I could really point to one or two jobs and say I learned the most here and there, but that would be a lie. Like I really feel like even though at the time that I had those jobs, I never knew how it was going to impact me now. They all came together to this kind of like overall learning experience. So I would say like, even when I did this talk at CBC last year, and one of the questions somebody asked was about like, when you want to leave your 9 to 5 and, should you leave, should you stay? And I said, keep your damn 9 to 5. Please please go learn and make mistakes on these other people's dime. Please do not go make mistakes and learn on your own dime. It hurts. Why learn on your own money when you can go learn someone else's money? That doesn't make any sense. So like, I'm a huge advocate for like, keep a job until it just doesn't make sense anymore. When your income is incoming and you're just so overwhelmed and the money's rolling in, it doesn't make sense, and you need to allocate your time different, then do your thing. But aside from that, I would say keep a job and learn. Just keep your mind open. Everything that you think you hate, just do it. There's always something you can take away from it. And at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur too, being a business owner, you're still not really your own boss.
Yeah.
Your clients are your boss. You are still always answering to someone. So all these people who think that you're going to go out there and you're going to start your business, and because you want to be your own boss and because you want to have your own hours, it's not true. It's a lie. It's a social media lie. That's my personal opinion, but let me tell it.
Yeah, I never thought about that, honestly, because hearing like your reflection, that to me is a misconception that I would have never thought about when it comes to like the reality of being an entrepreneur. And I think that just brings about like a lot of humility, because it's like reflected in the type of services that you provide at the beauty supply store, and just even how you relate with your customers, how you relate with your employees. I think that's a good like thing to take away. Like treat your clients as your boss, treat your employees as your boss. Like everything that you're doing is in service of others. And I think just being able to apply that I have some ideas. But Sheva, I wanted to ask a little bit about the journey as well, and diving a little bit more into the day-to-day of entrepreneurship. I know that y'all also were featured on Revolt TV's Bet on Black, and wanted to just talk about that. Like, how did that come about? What was the biggest takeaway? What were some of the nuggets that you walked away that helped you guys with the business?
How it came about, we opened that same year. The year that we got that opportunity was the year we opened, which is crazy. We weren't even open for a year when that opportunity came around.
Yeah.
How it came about was I was on social media every single day, just trying to hustle, get our name out there. I mean, Instagram stories, talk, anything that I could do to boost our brand visibility within my own power, I was
Mm-hmm.
doing. And I honestly think, and I was putting my face out there. Like I never was a person like I wanted to be the face of something, but I was like, we got it. When you put your money up, you're like, oh baby, we got to make this work. I was
Period.
like every day, I was like, we got to get this money by tomorrow. And
That's a good mentality to have. True.
when your back is up against the wall, you know, when you put your own money up, you need your money back. So it's not a thing of like, you know, what you want to do. It's what you either you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. There's really no other option. So I was like really at it, and this woman. I noticed that this woman, her name is Renee. I'm gonna send this to her when it comes out because I love her so much. She really like
Yay.
helped us a lot in our first year of business. But she's a producer. She's amazing. At any rate, she followed us, and I didn't think too much of it. You know, I saw that she had some different things on her page. And I remember seeing her page, and like I didn't know that she was connected to Revolt in any which way, though. You know, so like shortly thereafter, maybe like I don't know, 2 weeks or something, I get this email that's like Bet on Black, Revolt. I know this is gonna sound crazy, y'all, but I really thought it was spam, so I deleted it.
Dang.
I was like, someone's trying to get our information, delete. I was like, there's in my head, this is also just the power of like, you know, your thoughts, but like I was like, there's no way. You know, like we're so small. We just opened. Like we had in our business, we had like a couple of like viral videos and stuff like that on TikTok. So maybe that could have helped. But like in my head, I was like, "There's no way they're actually reaching out to us." So I literally just deleted. I didn't even. You know what's so crazy? I didn't even finish the email.
I know.
I was like, read the first like 2 lines, and I was like, "What?" And I just deleted it. And not deleted. I like sent it to spam or like trash or something. So one day I wake up, she hit DM'd us, this woman, Renee, who I didn't know had any ties to anything. And she was like, "Hey, I wanted to make sure that you got our email." And I was like, "Hey, you know, thanks for contacting us." You know, I thought she was just trying to like book an appointment or something. I don't know. She was like, "Hey, we reached out about, you know, this Red on Black opportunity." And I was like, so I went back to my email and I was like, "Oh my God, please tell me that I can like still find this email." Found the email, actually thoroughly read it, and I was like, "It's real." And I called Obi, my business partner is Obi. I called Obi and I was like, "Oh my God, they contacted us. Like, should we do it?" Like, you know, it had the dates on it, was they wanted us to do it tomorrow. It was a
Ooh.
really quick turn. It was like they're gonna fly in the same week, record something, then we gotta go to Atlanta right after. And we didn't even really have a staff at the time.
Mm.
I don't know this. We had one part-time employee. I was in there every day getting it out the mud. Oh,
Wow.
yeah, like the experience is, I mean, we ended up doing it, obviously. We ended up placing in the top like 3 or 4. We won a huge grant, which was amazing. The biggest takeaway from the experience in general was just like, you just gotta fight. You just gotta,
Mm.
like, Obi was in London during the time that they hit us up. We were completely unprepared for this opportunity. We had no idea that this was coming down the pipeline. We flew from London to Atlanta. He landed at like, I don't even know, 1 a.m. We started filming at 5 a.m. I
What?
flew from LA. That whole span of, when you see, like, if you go watch that show, you can't tell, but those like 3 or 4 days that we filmed, like, I maybe got all of, in total, maybe 12 hours of sleep, 10 or
Gee.
12 for that like 3 or 4 day period. I was up all night rehearsing, figuring out what I was going to say, trying to figure out how I was going to pitch my idea, thinking about all of their objectives, like, I mean, objections. My biggest takeaway was just like, you just gotta just do it. Like, scared, do it. Unprepared, do it.
Mm.
Looking ugly, do it. Get online, even if you got makeup, your hair's not done. You never know who's watching. You never know who's looking. I would have
Yeah.
never known that this woman was going to see our stuff. And when I asked her, because I ended up meeting her at the filming of Bet on Black, and I asked her, "How did you find out about us?" And she was like, "I followed you guys. I saw you guys online. I followed you, and you were so you. Were, I mean, it was clear that you were like you were in it every day."
Mhm.
And I didn't even know that people could tell, really, even though that was the truth. But yeah, like you just never know who's watching. You just gotta just rain, shine, sad, depressed. Like it was the most depressing year of my life, the year that we opened.
Mm.
But you just got to just keep doing it. You got to keep showing up.
Wow. I think another takeaway would be what's for you will always be for you. Because if she didn't
Bye.
follow up, who would have known?
Never,
Yeah.
You know?
what's for you
Um,
will never miss you.
exactly.
It's so inspiring. Like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Shout out to your business partner, OB. Because
yeah.
a flight, last minute flight.
Monday. Right.
Yeah.
I
Keep it
love that. I
real.
love to see that type of display of teamwork too, where it's like you're both on the same kind of wavelength when it comes to what you're trying to build. And it's like, gotta get it by any means. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
opportunities calling, it may not come again. Just drop everything and do what you have to do, you know?
We hired a girl who like we met like twice to like run the store basically while we were gone. Like it was crazy. It was really crazy. I'm so glad we did it. It changed our lives, honestly. That show changed our lives.
Shout out to Revolt.
Period. You did mention though, Shiva, which kind of stuck out to me that like obviously opening the store is a big accomplishment, like something to celebrate, be happy about. But you said it was like the most depressing year of your life. Do you want to kind of explain a little bit like why that might be, or was it business related?
Yes, it was definitely business related. When you're just surviving like that,
Mhm.
again, I mean, it was a learning curve on so many levels. There was so much that had to be sacrificed in terms of my personal life, my relationships, my friendships, my family relationships, my relationship with myself. I'm not by any means promoting this, but I had basically zero self care the entire year. Like, I just wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't making time for myself. There really was no time for myself. I know it's not necessarily like the healthy thing to do, and it certainly isn't the healthy thing to do for an extended period of time. But again, when your money is up and you got to make things work, like I was working from like 6 a.m. I was coming in at like 6 a.m. before we even opened. And I would sometimes leave at like 1 a.m., 12 a.m., and then come back and do it all over again. I was working 7 days a week and I still had a full time job. I was exhausted. I was making
Dang, that's crazy.
Literally trying to calculate, like, if, like, what? I'm
The
just like,
24 hours.
wow.
Literally.
Obi would tell you like it was dark. Like it was
Mhm.
really dark. It was really dark. We were literally when I say 7 days a week, I mean granted there was some times where I'd say, okay, you handle this so I can take, this day and I can sleep extra or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
even just to be honest with you, I mean it goes back to what this podcast is all about, but like just the type of work ethic and like the type of background that I came from, I wasn't groomed for entrepreneurship. I didn't have anybody teach me how to navigate this. Everything that we were navigating, we were figuring it out ourselves. We were making mistakes and learning as we go. And we didn't have unlimited resources. We didn't have a ton of loans or a ton of grants. That money, even the money that we got from the Revolt Bet on Black show, like that, it goes quick. Like it's not like it was some never ending pot of gold that just have all these investors who are just pouring money and throwing money at you. So it was just a really stressful time. I was really, really anxious. Every day I was just like, this has to work. I mean, it was the only thing that was going through my mind was like, I have to keep this alive.
Yeah.
This has to work. People have to get paid. Even when we started hiring people, it was just like the
Mhm.
the anxiety. No one ever talks about once you finally like get something, there's this like really nagging anxiety that you're so scared to lose it.
Mhm.
It can really put you in a dark place where you feel like you don't have time to rest. You don't have time to, you don't have time for a relationship. You don't have time for friends. You don't have time because you're just constantly thinking about everything that can go wrong, trying to
Mhm.
prepare for it. Just, again, the worrying, the anxiety, like that year I barely slept. And
Mm.
honestly, it was crazy because when the year was over and like after we opened and everything, and people, it was so crazy. People kept saying, my friends, my family, they kept saying, you need to take a minute. Are you like, you should be so proud of yourself. Like, take a second to just like be happy.
Mm.
And I just couldn't.
Mhm.
Like, I just couldn't be happy. I couldn't be proud of myself yet. I just didn't feel like things were stable enough. I was still so scared. We were still so new. I felt like, one wrong mistake and like things could still fall apart and then I'd be a failure. Then that's how it felt in my head at the time.
Right.
I don't feel that way anymore, but yeah, like it was just a dark time. And at the end of the year, I remember looking back and just feeling like, wow, this entire year passed by and I don't remember any of it. Like I don't remember, even still, like I really feel like I don't remember the year. I remember the highlight of like going to Revolt. I remember our grand opening, and like everything in the middle was just like a blur because I
Wow.
was just, my head was down and I was just so focused on making everything work that anything else was just like a distraction, including getting my nails done. I was losing my hair. My
Mm.
hair was thinning. I lost a ton of weight, which I mean, I'm not that bad at that part, but you know, all my gray hairs. I never had any gray hairs. I got all my gray hairs in that first year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dark, but that's why I made the comment of you just have to just keep going because some
Hmm.
people were like, I don't want to do something that's like stressing me this bad or that's like taking over my life this way. But sometimes I do think that even though it wasn't healthy, I do feel like there are periods in your life where you just kind of have to, you just have to just put your feelings aside. Like you just don't have time for that. You got to
Hmm.
just feel it later. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
feel it the next year when things level out.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, that's so real that you share that too, because entrepreneurship is so glamorized. Like not everybody is built for that. Not everybody is equipped to do that or to handle that. So
I
I
hate
love
it.
that you're an advocate for it. No, keep your 9 to 5, like keep something secure.
How social media glamorizes entrepreneurship. I
Hmm.
think we should be honest with people about what it really entails
Hmm.
because like people exhaust their savings for entrepreneur. I think we just take it too lightly. Like you can go on Instagram or TikTok right now and see people say, "Oh, look at how I made 6 figures in 6 months or whatever," but you're not showing people the expenses. You're not showing
Right.
people the overhead. You're not showing people the taxes, all these other things. People get inspired under kind of false pretenses, in my personal opinion. If you're not
Hmm.
someone who already has business acumen, I was already a person who has some business acumen because of my work background and my career path. So I already knew what I was kind of signing up for, thankfully. But you have a lot of people who they're inspired to do this, and then they exhaust their savings trying to make this idea happen without having the proper plans in place because they weren't properly informed. Now, am I saying that that's people's fault on TikTok or social media or whatever? I'm not saying it's their fault, but I do feel it's irresponsible if you're going to make that type of content to
Hmm.
only glamorize it and not be realistic with people because at the end of the day, people go take out loans. They go do all types of things to get the capital to start a business, ask their parents for money, all types of things. And when it doesn't go the way they thought it would based on the outside and social media glamorization, they feel like they failed when really they were just misinformed in the first place. I just think it's
Because
unfair.
people want to go viral. That's why, like, those type of headlines will make you want to click on a YouTube video, like how I made $1 million drop shipping. Like, what? Let
Yeah.
me find out.
I get it. I truly do. I understand why, but it's just irresponsible. That's just my person. If you're gonna make those type of videos, that's cool. Make the other ones too, though. It's y'all responsibility on what y'all watch, but I'm gonna make the
Mhm.
content. If y'all go and click this one and only
Hmm.
this one, that's for you. But like, make a video that talks about business expenses and like how hard this stuff really is.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. That's a part of the essence of why we have this platform is so that we can have a first gen perspective on everything. Like you said it best, Sheva, we weren't raised to necessarily know how to run businesses. We weren't given those tools and resources. And that's not a blanket statement across first gens, but like this conversation in and of itself speaks to a lot of people, that look like us, that come from the same backgrounds as us. And it's important that we highlight your successes, but also that you're the type of person that's open to share, like, no, this is the real, this is the nitty
Yeah.
gritty. And like, it's still possible, but you should be informed.
About what you're getting yourself into, and you should buckle up because it's probably gonna have some really, it's gonna be really fulfilling at times, and it's gonna be really hard at times.
And just thinking about advice for listeners, aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners, people who are looking to you and your story, Sheva, and are inspired by, beauty and wanting to own something in a similar respect. Just what sort of advice would you give to someone who wants to open up their own salon, beauty supply store, anything of that nature, especially as a first gen?
Do your research. Do your research and figure out where you're weak and find the right people to fill the gaps. Like, I'm really good at the front end because my whole life, all I ever did was the front end, whether it was from a retail point of view, working in a salon, even working in corporate client facing. It's front end. Branding is front end. Marketing is front end. It's what the public sees. I didn't have the legal know how, the taxes, the money. I mean, I know how to add things up, that's for sure, and multiply, but I didn't know, all of the other bits and pieces. I honestly credit one of the major reasons that we were successful is I found a really great business partner. I knew I had a good idea, and I knew eventually, around the time that I moved to LA, actually, shortly thereafter, I would say maybe like 2019, I had a good grip on what I wanted to do at that time. Like, I had fleshed out my idea. I didn't have money and all the logos and all the legal parts, but I knew what I wanted and I had a business plan. I'm not a money person. I'm not a taxes person. I'm not legal. And I think one of the greatest strategic decisions that I ever made was finding a business partner who's good at what I'm bad at. I'm good at what he's bad at, and he's good at what I'm bad at. I think when you try to do everything, or you're only focused on this particular area, and then you go hire somebody who might not have your best interests at heart or doesn't have a personal stake in the game, that's how I think sometimes people get kind of screwed. So I would just say figuring out what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then finding ways where you can partner with folks who are strong where you're weak so that you can spend more time on your strengths, basically. Lock in on what you're good at. Don't waste a whole bunch of time trying to you're not a tax person. You should understand it, but if that's not your thing, it's just not your thing. Focus on where you're good. If you're good with people and customers and clients and all of that type of stuff, or you're super creative maybe, but you're not really you don't have a whole lot of business acumen, go find somebody who has that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way you can focus on what the creative is and stuff like that.
Sheva, it's like we're gonna have to run this episode back to back to. I'm just gonna have this playing as my morning mantra every day because you are saying some real right now.
Yeah. Would you do it all over again? Like, if you knowing what you know now, would you do everything all over again?
I would do certain things differently for sure, but I would definitely do it all over again. It's a lot, but honestly, it's so fulfilling. And it's like seeing my clients and the customers and the things they say about us and the experiences that they have. Like, even on the days where I'm like, it really does make it feel worth it. And even our staff, and just knowing a lot of our staff, some of them are mothers, some of them are single mothers, some of them, this is their first time even working at a place that's Black owned, or at a Black owned brand that's operating a certain caliber, or at least attempting to. And it's just nothing like it. Just having that space, everybody can be themselves. You ain't got a code switch. Be professional, but you could be yourself. It's beautiful. I wouldn't change it. I would do it 10 times over.
I love that.
Wow. And you're honestly too, your why is so powerful and so strong. So I can see how the tough times, you're strong, you get through it because what you're doing for the community. And we need more. You're a example of more of what we need, considering our conversation earlier about how much money we spent. We spend so much money as a Black community, as Black women, and we need to spend it with each other. What? Come on now.
And we gotta do right. We gotta push the envelope too of what professionalism looks like, and not being so comfortable. Sometimes you go into some places and they feel like, oh, it's us. Because it's us, we can do certain things a certain way. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe that the same level of professionalism that you would apply elsewhere, you should apply with people who look just like you as well.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah. I think even traveling internationally helps you see that too. Seeing people be hospitable in all Black spaces, and basically what you said, yeah, we look alike, but it's still professional over here,
Yeah, and I love that. You see it in some places, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We know.
He said,
Yeah, it's not everywhere. It's not everywhere, but yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Black excellence.
Yeah. We love to see it. We love to see it. Well, I wanna know what do you have any announcements or anything upcoming projects, anything exciting that you want that the listeners can get up
Yes.
there? Well, it may not
We
be
have
the first.
officially launched our new website.
TFG
Okay.
exclusive.
It's
You
labeautyclub.com.
heard it here first. What was that?
It's labeautyclub.com. It's a brand new website. It's so sleek and easy to use and perfect. We also have our anniversary. We have our anniversary. Our anniversary is on Sunday, February 3rd. So if you're local in LA, folks, come on,
I
party
might
with us.
pop up.
We'll be there.
Pop out, there'll be drinks, some food, DJ, photo booths. It's gonna be real cute.
Yeah, we came last year. We know the vibes.
Yeah.
This website is cute. Okay. Ooh. And y'all got some holiday deals. I'm about to do some shopping.
Wow, love that. So as far as the business goes, and LA Beauty Club is obviously like local to LA currently, but do you guys in the future, like years from now, months from now, have any plans for expansions into other cities? Like, what if people in New York want a beauty club? Like,
Or
give the people
Atlanta.
what they want. Or Atlanta. Or Ghana.
We have franchise. And we have
Exclusive.
You hit it here.
all extra.
You heard it here first.
We need one of those things, and they'd be like, boo, 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 boo.
We'll add it in because this is major.
We have London Beauty Club.
What? London.
What is
Yeah.
it open?
We have a partner. It's not open yet, but it is opening this year. We don't have a grand opening date yet, but it is opening this year. We have London Beauty
Wow.
Club. That is coming. It's londonbeautyclub.com if you are interested in signing up for updates, so that you can have more information. Yeah, we have London Beauty. We have a beautiful partner out in London who's going to be
Whoa.
doing that with us. And then, of course, we have some plans for some other cities nearby, but
I was about to say, we always keep a backpack. Oh, sounds like we going to London, girls.
Period.
We come
London, mate.
we'll fly y'all out.
Trying to
Yeah,
get
I
the
love that. No, maybe
Yeah.
we'll finally get a TFG and Sheva trip together.
Finally.
Yes, finally.
No, for real. I haven't been to London, but it's on my list because I know we be out there, like, the Africans be out there. So I'm trying to see what's up.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
Mm.
I'm excited for that. London
Me
Beauty
too.
Club. I heard it here first. We about to
Take a trip and a spot of tea.
Yes.
The cameras. Put the cameras.
The camera.
didn't quite get it that time.
Wow.
We'll get it together in time.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been lovely. Like, I love the gems that you dropped for us. I definitely am walking away with useful tips and advice that I even think we can apply to. And just thank you for your time and what you're doing. I am incredibly inspired by you from the moment that I met you. I've been
Me too.
inspired, staying inspired.
Likewise. Oh my
and
gosh.
Thank you for being you and joining us.
That is really, really sweet. And thank you guys for having me on. Like, I can't say enough how appreciative I am that you guys are, sharing this platform with me. I really appreciate it. We'll see what the rest of the year holds.
Don't we gotta drop our gems?
Yeah.
The first gems.
Yeah, I was satisfied with what she did.
Okay, well, your plate is full, but we can still eat.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What'd you learn?
I'm gonna write that down.
Okay. My gem is hustle culture is a lie. Self-care is where it's at. No matter how busy you are, how much you want something, how strong the grind is, you can only put as much effort in to something as you have in your cup. So if your cup is empty, then it's going to make it that much harder to just see the vision of what you want to come to life. And you just need to make sure your cup is full so that you can completely pour into the endeavors that you want and be happy and enjoy the journey, basically.
Yeah. I love that.
Wow.
It's just eating them up. My gem, as I'm reflecting on this episode and our discussion, I think it's really important to keep your blind spots open. I think, Sheva, when you talked about having a producer from Revolt reach out to you numerous times to hand a blessing, being able to spot it and know that, the more that you put yourself out there as a creative, the more that you increase your visibility, like trust that there are people who are watching and waiting and ready to help you. So just keeping my head on a swivel.
That's the truth. There are people who want to help you.
Mm-hmm. My takeaway from this conversation, entrepreneurship, baby, is not for everybody. Okay. So just like Sheva said, on doing your research, don't just look at the positives and all of the buzzwords and all of the fun stuff about entrepreneurship. Really, really do your due diligence and talk to people who are entrepreneurs and to learn the actual realities of the situation. And if it's for you, it's for you.
I love
Okay.
it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, let's wrap it up. Sheva, where can the people follow you on social? You personally or the Beauty Club, whichever you want to drop.
You can follow the Beauty Club at LA Beauty Club _ on Instagram, TikTok, or at Shop LABC. If you are, you just so happen to be in the Facebook, those people still exist.
That's smart.
Then yes, you can find us on Facebook as well. And then of course, labeautyclub.com.
Black business, Black excellence, Black women, Black love.
All of it.
Yes. Peace.
Y'all
I'm
crazy.
so
We out.
inspired.